Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and I have a confession to make. I fear that I have to accept that I am in a reading slump. It comes for us all. This is a less than ideal situation, but I thought I could use this as an opportunity to share with you how I get myself out of a reading slump and then follow my own advice and get out of my reading slump. Maybe this can be useful, maybe not, but I will be gabbing about books, so there's that. So I'm going to start this video by telling you what I like to do to get out of a reading slump and then tell you what I'm going to be reading. Then we'll get out of the slump. The first thing I do is try not to panic, which is wild because that is like my super skill. I'm so good at panicking and catastrophizing. But for me, reading is a hobby. I am not doing hobby reading at work, or I'm not studying, I'm not at school. There is nothing that I have to read, so I don't have to worry. It's meant to be fun. I get to pick what I read, and it's never that deep if I don't want to pick up a book or if I give up on a book partway through. It's fine. The second thing I do is I like to look at it as a change will do you good. Basically, I like to try a different genre or try a different reading format. If I have been reading a lot of physical books lately and I'm in a slump, then I might look to an ebook or an audiobook. If I've been reading a lot of like literary fiction, maybe I'll look at fantasy, that kind of idea. Just mix things up a little bit. Number 3 is that I try and get an easy win. This is maybe a bit cheating, but it's not. I'm still reading the book. If I'm in a slump, I like to give myself like an almost guaranteed 5-star read. Like a guaranteed good time with a book. And by that I just mean rereading a favourite book. I loved it before, probably gonna love it again. For this, I would normally pick something fast-paced, something that's gonna just it's gonna take my hand and run. Number 4 is, this is a horrible term, but I don't know a better term for it. A popcorn read. I love popcorn. I've just eaten enough popcorn that my mouth feels like it's inverting because of the salt. Sorry, it wasn't popcorn. It was corn, like dried corn. I don't know, it was barbecue and it was delicious. And now I feel dry. So I'm going to use this as an affectionate term, and I basically just mean a book that's usually quite short, like 200 to 300 pages, usually a cozy small town romance or a murder mystery that's not grisly. Something that promises to be a little bit lighter. The third act breakup is completely predictable but very small and slight. Something light, something fun, something easily consumed, something that's going to be a bit joyful but ultimately like not the biggest amount of nutritional value. No shade, because popcorn reads are important. It is important to have like a nice fun time where it's just light. And number 5 is to pick something short but sweet, like a novella. Nice short books that will trick my brain into thinking, wow, I'm making such great progress on my TBR. And I will feel like a winner. It's all about winning. For me, to get out of a slump, I need to feel like I am progressing in my goals, but I'm also having a nice time. So the books that I am going to be reading are, I'm having a little bit of a mix in genre, and I'm going for a non-fiction read, which is a NetGalley book. It's on my Kindle, so I'll pop a little picture of it. It is The Field Guide to Nepo Babies by Fran Hoepfner. This is on my spring TBR, and it is what it says it is. It is a book about Nepo babies, and I think it's going to be interesting. And I'm definitely getting the impression from the cover, which we should not judge books by, but we kind of all do. I think it's going to be quite a light take on the subject. I mean, imagine if I come back and I tell you like this was dark and it's so deep. I don't think it will be. It's only 140-ish pages. So I think it's going to be quite light. It's going to be quite fun, maybe, hopefully. And I'm also going to be rereading a favourite, In a Crown, so Cursed by McKinney. I reread the first 2 books in this series last year. I love this series. It is my favourite series. And I just didn't get time to reread book 3. So that is my plan. I'm going to read 2 books. I'm going to have a great time. We're going to chat about the books. And we're going to get out of a reading slump. Hopefully. I say we. Hopefully I'm the only one of us that's in a reading slump. I hope that you are not. I'll be back. I will have updates. We're doing this. I have realised I forgot to tell you what my book was about. So I'm going to do that. My non-fiction book is pretty self-explanatory, but my fiction book, you need to know more about it before I just jibber jabber. This is book 3 in the Nightmare Verse series, and this is the series. Yes, it did pain me that books 1 and 2 I had on UK paperback. Book 3 is in US hardback, but I waited years for this book to come out. I ended up having to get it on ebook to read it, so I've never read the physical book because this was delayed. And to the best of my knowledge, it still does not exist as a UK paperback, so I will take what I can get. This series has been described before as Alice in Wonderland meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I know usually we're kind of stung a little when books make comparisons like that. Who among us has not been burned by a book that likens itself to Gilmore Girls or Practical Magic? But in this instance, it's a rare one where this is quite an accurate description of the book. I would actually say it is more Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Alice in Wonderland. Like, switch it around, because it is more about the whole saving the world element versus the really cool fantasy world. The main character is called Alison. She goes by Alice. She is a teenager living in Atlanta. She is a student by day, but by night she fights these demonic, shadowy creatures known as nightmares. She has her own Scooby gang, which I love, and her little group of friends is a mixture of normal humans who are her classmates and the residents of Wonderland and other people who are tasked with basically saving the world from these nightmare creatures and protecting the human world from Wonderland. There's a kind of veil, a thin veil between our world and Wonderland, and that is passable by these nightmare creatures, and she needs to kind of stop that happening because it's not good. There are various gateways throughout the globe, and we get to meet different guardians of the gateways, and it is so fun. There are so many like weird and wonderful characters, and they're all interesting. I would read series about all of them. I had my day in the office, so I had a lot of reading time, and I'm already halfway through the book, and yes, I love it just as much as I did the first time around, even though I know what's going to happen. It's still kind of fresh in my memory. It's like 3 years since I last read it, but I'm so ready for the journey. I'm ready to relive it. I'm having a great time with this book. I'm enjoying the really fast pace, the variety of characters, the excitement, the relationships. We've got family, friends, a little bit of smooching, everything. And I'm just really excited to finish the book. I have had the most productive morning. It's Sunday and I have achieved. Like, in a relaxing way. I've achieved relaxation, which is really kind of all I could ask for on a Sunday. I started the day with a coffee in bed, which is one of my favourite things to do, and I read Vogue. Very, very highbrow literature. I have some queries about the cover. Why is Olivia Rodrigo on an office chair? I bet that office chair costs more than like my monthly salary. Then I had a walk. Then I started reading The Field Guide to Nepo Babies. And then I finished reading The Field Guide to Nepo Babies. This was such a quick read. I think I said it was 140 pages, and is, but it's also not. Every second page was either blank or a photograph. So it was really kind of 70 pages, and the formatting of the book, we weren't filling every page with text. So it was maybe really a 50-page book. And I think book is, yeah, it is a book, but it wasn't long. It was fun though. It was really fun. I found myself cackling, and I did think it was going to be fun. So it has fulfilled the brief. The requirement has been met. I went in expecting a very light, perhaps silly book on Nepo babies, which in this instance we were looking at celebrities who were given a bit of a head start on account of who they were related to. So a child of a famous actor becoming an actor would be considered a Nepo baby because they are maybe getting opportunities perhaps on account of their name that they may not have gotten if they were just, the child of a baker. That's not to say that they don't earn the roles. It's just to say that, some doors are maybe opened a little bit more. There's maybe more opportunity. And I liked that the book didn't discount just how hard some of these people work and just how much some of these people do really deserve the accolades that they are getting. They've earned their flowers. And it's not a bad thing to have like a little helping hand in a notoriously really difficult industry, which would in this case is like celebrity, in the celebrity industry. The entertainment business is what I mean to say. And it was a genuinely interesting book. And I had fun. That's kind of all I wanted. I want you to have fun. I want you to be entertained. I had fun. I was entertained. This read like a magazine. The formatting, it looked like a magazine or like a yearbook. And I think that was intentional so that you would definitely get the vibe. This is a light book. I had a good time. It was what I needed, a giggly good time. And I am going to go and continue having a relaxing day because this is lovely. I will be back when I have finished reading A Crown So Cursed. Hopefully I will finish that tomorrow. Maybe, because I'm loving it. I have updates. I have finished reading my book, and I also had my biannual eye test. I went to the optician, and I know what you're thinking. I don't wear glasses. Correct. I should. I should wear glasses. Actually, no. My optician said that she didn't mind that I don't wear my glasses because my prescription is very weak. It is weaker now than it was before. But because I work entirely in front of screens, blue light or anti-glare would benefit me. So I've ordered glasses. I don't think I'll have them by the next time I film because she said they could take like up to 2 weeks. So when I film and you see me in glasses, let's just pretend I'm not wearing glasses because I have needed glasses since 1997 and I don't like wearing them. And then I came home and I finished my book. I loved this when I first read it 3 years ago, and I still love it. I may actually love it a little bit more this time around because first time I read it, I like whizzed through it because I was just desperate to have the book. For anybody who hasn't read this series, I recommend you do. It is young adult. And sometimes I don't fancy reading a young adult book, but this doesn't feel... Sometimes young adult can feel a little, hello fellow kids. It doesn't feel that way. It is written for a younger audience, but there is something for everyone, and the writing style it could be adult fiction, but books 1 and 2 came out. I loved them. I read them. Great time. And then I believe book 3 was supposed to come out in like 2021, maybe 2022, but it kept being pushed back, and I pre-ordered it the second it was available for pre-order, and I kept getting these emails going, sorry, whoops, you know, it's delayed. And when I finally got told, like, it's coming out, my physical order was delayed by months. So I bought the ebook so that I could just read it instantly because I needed to. Like I say, this is a young adult series, but the themes in it have no age limit, really. So I feel that the only reason maybe I think that this is probably considered young adult is because the main character is a teenager. She has been through a lot of stuff and she is facing a lot of things that you would trust her. I think you would trust Alice. This series is full of found family, which is one of my favourite tropes in a book. But we also have like actual family. Alice's mum and grandmother feature throughout the series, but there is more of an emphasis on their relationship in this book, which is, it's such a lovely relationship they have. Sadly, Alice's father passed away just before book one. So she's kind of, you know, she's been going through grief, and the whole series actually started shortly after the death of a teenager in Atlanta. So Alice's mum doesn't seem like she's being unnecessarily strict. She is like, a young black girl was killed, and she is looking at her child being like, you are a young black girl, and worrying because she is just worried about her kids. The city's in mourning for this teenager and for their just senseless death. And Alice's mum just sort of thinks like, that was somebody's baby and Alice is my baby, and you know, she just wants to keep her kids safe. And I think that's something that I think if you were a kid reading this, you'd be like, you know, that makes sense. That makes sense why the mum's sort of going, no, you can't do X, Y, Z, because the mum is like heartbroken about this teenager and just going, that could be me. And it makes sense. I also love the found family elements. Again, I love found family. I also love a strong, confident, butt-kicking main character. She doesn't need to kick butt, but Alice does. And she uses these cool blades. Like, I don't know, in my mind, it's like in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the two fork-like swords. That's what I imagine she's using. She has this thing called like a Vorpal blade. There's so many cool sounding weapons in this. There's a lot of battle scenes, which I'm very, very into. I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer when it first came out. I probably maybe was a little bit too young to be watching it, but that didn't stop me. And this had all the sort of fun elements, and it almost made me feel like nostalgia. Even though this is a more modern series, it had all of the elements that I loved in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but modernised. I liked reading about Alice trying to sort of live her life as a teenager, managing all of the standard teenage life things that go on, but also being like, I have to save the world, and feeling torn between her two lives. I really liked having Alice trying to manage her real life teenage life, school, friendship, hiding her super secret alter ego, her family, trying to spend time with her. Her grandmother is unwell. The doctors are thinking it's sort of maybe dementia, so she's dealing with that as best she can. And she also has to be a guardian of a super secret world called Wonderland. A secret realm, which has these really cool like dragon cats. Love it. Little villages, really fun characters. Everything is just, the world building is amazing. And there's no side note, there are no sunsets in Wonderland, which means that the characters from Wonderland age differently. So we do have some of the residents of Wonderland, they live in a really cool like pub. And we have Addison Hatta, you know, and he's kind of like Spike. He's got this, hello, love. I can't do accents. I sincerely apologise. That was not good. He's like a Spike character from Buffy with regards to his accent, and it's a little bit dreamy, and he doesn't look hundreds of years old, but he would be hundreds of years old if time worked the same way as it did in our world. So that removes any kind of weirdness of, you know, how people would maybe take a second look if they had seen Buffy and Giles walking around, or perhaps would have gone, oh, that's, you know, father and child. Nobody takes a second look when they see these people together because they all look about the same age. And there is some romance, but it is just not even a side plot of the series. It's more just there's some smooching. There's some like gooey eyes, but mainly it is fantasy. And this series embodies like exactly what I love about fantasy. It has amazing world building, wonderful, like well-rounded characters, dragon cats, genuine peril, and battle scenes, like really cool battle scenes, really witty dialogue. Obviously I gave it 5 stars again. Am I out of my reading slump? I do not know, but I know I just had an amazing 5-star read and I really enjoyed my non-fiction, so I think I'm like clawing my way kind of out. And yes, I do imagine a reading slump to be kind of like being trapped in a little bit of a hole. I would love to know what you do if you're in a reading slump. If you have any tips, please let me know. And if you've read any of these books, again, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.